Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 6 of our preparation for your short film production, in which we take some inspiration from some of the list of Educas's mandated short films. Episode 6 today on The Gunfighter by Kissack from the US 2014 with a 9-minute runtime should be comparatively short and sweet, because it's only got one setting. The mise-en-scène is fairly limited to the saloon bar room of this Wild West town. And as such, the shot-by-shot analyses that I want to do should be more short, sweet and to the point. The Gunfighter is a 2014 short film directed by Eric Kissack. A twist on the Western genre, the film concerns a group of people in a saloon who, in an act of breaking the fourth wall, are able to hear the narrator of the film. In a small town in the Old West, a lone and weary gunfighter enters a saloon, a bar. As he walks through the room, surrounded by the people of the town, a voice begins narrating the scene, telling us exactly who the gunfighter is. But, unlike every classic Western to use this narrative trope, the characters in this film can hear it. The voice breaks the fourth wall. This omniscient narrator quickly begins divulging the deepest, darkest secrets of the people in the saloon. He exposes infidelity, homosexuality, prejudice, and even a bit of bestiality. As the story unfolds, it becomes evident that the voice is a bloodthirsty, naughty person, so-and-so, that wants nothing more than to see the people of the town kill each other in a needless gunfight. It's really, really funny, but I should forewarn you that there is some quite naughty language along the way. You can access the film here on YouTube via this link, which will be in the description below. I've warned a number of times now to be very careful about voiceover potentially being lazy script writing that tells rather than shows, but in this case it's incredibly comic and funny because it totally flips on its head and subverts that very cliched notion of a slow, deep, American, all-knowing, omniscient voiceover for comic effect. It has to be done terribly well in the performance for you to get it this right, though. We will see some student examples of it being done that well. The opening shot of the boardwalk, the horses, the carts, the posts to hitch your horse to, and the non-diegetic score of Border Cinema establish this as an homage to the Western genre, especially as we move through to the trope, the stereotype of the swing doors on the saloon and the mise-en-scène of the whiskey bottles. But that's then flipped on its head when our comically deep trope of this slow and all-seeing omniscient narrator breaks the fourth wall by the gunfighter turning, looking up to the ceiling and asking where the story is emerging from, especially when we get these shots of it revealing his inner thoughts and we get him turning on his heel to see the two bandits who are plotting against him. Or the whore character, who is comically labelled whore repeatedly in this misogynistic way, looking up and musing upon the number that she's thinking of along the way. That even gets taken ultimately a little bit further with one of the bandits mocking the metaphoric language of the voiceover and ballet of death, etc. So our voiceover narrator is actually the central protagonist. The voiceover stereotypes, but is humorous from the fact that everybody can hear it and it breaks the fourth wall. It reveals secrets very flippantly about sexual orientation, sexually transmitted infections, and by revealing lies about the gunfight tactics to foil characters' intentions. If you watched my episode on sound, you will have seen the clip that I used from The Holiday, in which Cameron Diaz's character, this humour there is used to convey her character, who's a movie trailer producer, breaking the fourth wall by hearing the self-deprecating, derogatory comments about her own life in the stereotyped deep voice of a movie trailer. Much like is going on here, it's the same sort of humorous technique and trope. On the one hand, it's homage to cinema. On the other hand, it subverts it in a comical way. Other characters are established through quite hysterical dialogue, talking over one another or trying to curb the revelation of secrets, revealing thoughts and lies, or going back and forth. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. Or, let's not talk about that, shall we? I can see where this is going, in what becomes a dialogue of the voiceover and the characters in the scene, rather than the typical traits that we'd expect of a voiceover. Interior instincts versus desired outward appearance. It subverts the cinematic trope for humour. Is the voice omniscient? It certainly seems to be. But it's also very flippant and modern in its use of inappropriate colloquialisms for a woman's intimate area, or homosexuality, or various dynamics like that about racism and sexual infections. And at the same time, we can have things like the way that the prostitute doesn't lie. She says, "Oh yes, that was the number I was thinking of," or she says, "Oh, we could really progress to a society where women are respected," and we get the humour of the gunfighter saying, "Oh, let's not go too far." It establishes location with a long shot, and the setting and costume establishes genre expectations that later are circumnavigated or flipped on their head by humour and comedy. The enigma, the mystery, is that some of the conventions that we would expect are deliberately thwarted for comic effect. The binary oppositions of the back and forth verbal battles and the showdown scenario between many characters. The comically deliberate, ominous foreboding music of the showdown that the prostitute comments on, and then another character who's less intelligent has to ask what foreboding means. The mockery of the metaphor of ballet of death. The repeated revelations of infidelity and affairs, and some of the gunfighters' flippant dismissals about homosexuality and various things like that. The resolution is that they're all dead for comic effect. Even the one remaining live character is thwarted at the end by being told that she'll be mauled to death by a bear the following day. This is what I mean by a short film of this really short length being able to get away with being really wacky if it's done well. Whether you'll get as many inspirations from this one, I don't know, but in fairness, I've seen it done well in the past. There's the link for you to gain some further inspiration, and I will see you in next time's episode for a look at Pitch Black Heist. Thank you for hitting like, subscribe, and the notification bell if these are proving useful to you.